And soon, I imagine, we shall be live. And when we are, I will say, hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and
No.
Dragons?
That's right.
D-
I am Christiana Ellis. I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Dark Elf Warlock Zaylene, played by Jenny Meltzer.
Hey guys.
Changeling Bard Carolina Swift, played by Starla Hutchton.
Hello, friends.
Gnome Wizard Nedry Shiny Rock, played by Mark Kilfoyle.
I've never been more afraid to ask questions of that thing.
Which thing?
It seems to have followed Zinhorn home.
That thing has a name. But Zinhorn also has a name, and so Dragonborn Cleric Zinhorn Windborn, played by Paul Fisher.
I have a new friend.
That's true. And last but not least, Warforged Artificer Sequential, played by Chooch Schubert.
Hello, hello.
All right, so who would like to talk a little bit about what happened when last we left our heroes, the Pocket Protectors?
We made some new friends.
You did?
Oh boy.
I sent my sister to her death. But really, she wasn't going to die. It was just some elf who was spying on us, the actual us.
It was fine. She was really mostly scared by you guys. But, so, yes, the Pocket Protectors are in Gorn. And having had a couple of small adventures there, you now have a new party pet / companion, a gray render named Buster. This pet is the size of a grizzly bear. Lots of sharp teeth, wild demeanor, and utter devotion to Zinhorn, but still working on the training. You also have a new pet named Evan, who is a local man who was hired to spy on you, and who you have now broken and reshaped in your own image, and hired him to help you find out who it was that was trying to spy on you. What he knows is that it was a person named Nelson, presumably from Pashan, who contacted him magically and said he was a friend of the Emperor. But you all decided not to rejoin your previous ride on the airship and to instead travel by foot. But then you realized you don't have any of the stuff you need to travel by foot. So, and it's getting dark now and you're out of town, so tell me, Pocket Protectors, what do you want to do?
We're going to sleep in the tower.
Yeah, we were gonna find a spot about an hour outside of town and
That seems reasonable.
yeah, put the tower up.
So, is that what you do then?
Mm-hmm.
Which direction
Yeah.
do you go outside the tower? Because you started, we ended last time some 10 minutes into the forest from around the northern side of town.
Which way are we going eventually?
South.
South.
Now,
So
you
we're
could
gonna
skirt wide around the town and rejoin the road. Or,
But-
there are other options.
Well, we have to go back into the town probably, so do we want to just head out like the way we know where there's less swampiness? Like Evan might know.
That makes sense.
Evan, which way is the least swampy?
Well, if we go around town on the western side of town, it's less swampy over there, but we're kind of going to be on a slope no matter what, because Gorn's just sort of on high ground around all the swamp, sticking out of all the swamp. So, we're going to be more swampy the further out of town we are.
Well, the other option is just keep traveling in the dark, I suppose.
I mean, do we really have to go a whole hour outside of town? We could just go like, a mile outside of town.
Also, wasn't I supposed to wait until they contacted me, like the person I was supposed to give information to? Like, what if we
Oh,
get
yeah.
an hour outside of town, and he says, "Yeah, I'll meet you at the Pig's Landing in 10 minutes." What would I say?
Tell him to give you half an hour.
Well, I mean, if we're still an hour.
Well, that's what I
You know
said.
what?
If we only go like a mile outside of the city, it'll only take like 15 or 20 minutes to walk back in.
Just somewhere secluded.
Okay, I mean that's just kind of a lot of ground to cover. I'm kind of new to this. I mean, I know the area, but like, I don't usually camp.
Well, we're not going to camp. We're going to sleep in the tower. Or in a shadow cube. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
So like is that tower just? Was it always yours, or is it yours now? I don't like. Where did it come from? Didn't the pig throw that up?
It's a new acquisition.
All right.
Compensation.
The pig found it and
Yeah,
ate
we
it.
saved the lives of the 3 people that went inside. So, or got trapped inside. So,
It's safer with us, really.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I guess. So I
Yeah,
mean,
just don't go through the small door. Don't go through the big door. And come out the small door and then go through the big door again, because then you'd be really tiny and we wouldn't be able to find you.
Honestly, it's not that bad.
I
Remember-
have to say, I think that there is sort of a certain rustic appeal to the idea of camping. I mean, it's, you're out under the stars. You don't
Yeah.
turn big or small randomly, or
It's
It-
really not that complicated. I promise you, it's not at all scary.
It's not
actually
scary.
pretty nice.
Just
Okay.
make sure that Carolina is with you
There's even a
on the
safe.
inside.
Yeah. It may not seem like it, but it is safer.
Why does he have to follow Carolina around inside?
She's currently got the only key.
Okay, well, I mean, as long as she's inside and everybody else is inside, I think we'll be okay.
It's fine. So, which way do we go?
West.
Okay, I guess I mean, what I don't like know a place, but what we could do, I guess, is go around town on the western side, stay as close to town as it seems like you guys are comfortable with, and then we look for a spot.
Sure.
Yeah?
Great
Yeah,
idea.
that sounds great.
Thanks.
All
You're doing great.
He looks around. Am I supposed to walk first, or?
Sure, yeah, you know
Yeah, go
this
for it.
place better than us.
Lead on, sir.
So he turns and like looks off into the forest for a moment. Kind of just stands there for a second. Turns a little bit to the left. Goes back the way he was first looking, and then he's marching off into the forest.
And
Do we
away
need light yet?
go.
It's starting to get dark.
I'm going to pick up does he have anything on him that he's keeping in his hands?
I mean, he has on his belt, as I previously mentioned, he has a short sword and a hand crossbow that you've not seen him use. He does not seem to have much else in the way of any kind of supplies.
Okay. I will pick up a stick about the size of his short sword and cast light on the tip of it and give it to him.
Okay, thanks. I mean, will that help them find us, or like? I don't. How careful do we need to be right now? I'm still not entirely sure how this works.
Just walk casual.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're a
I think
half
we'll be
elf. You
okay.
don't need light, do you?
Yeah, but
do half
Carolina
elves have dark
does.
vision? I think I'm not sure half.
Carolina needs light.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine, and
technically I
I'll
do
cast
too.
I'll cast dancing lights so that it's just like twirling around my head.
Okay.
There we
I'm
go.
fine.
Yeah, that's got enough.
All right.
All right,
gonna
but I'm
eye
going to
Evan.
cast darkness on you. So
I've got my
can't see.
glowing hammer, but
I'm going to look rather
If I
suspiciously
need
at
it.
Evan and cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. Dark elves do in fact have dark vision. I've just confirmed that. Or excuse me, half elves rather do have dark vision. But nonetheless, I think for those of you who don't, and really anyone could make use of the light. But are you just probing surface thoughts for the moment, Nedry, or?
For the moment.
Okay. So I think what you're getting is something along the lines of, I think this is probably the right way. Gosh, I hope these guys don't think I'm stupid.
It's a convincing facade, but I'm going to go deeper.
Okay. Gets to make a saving throw.
Yep.
It is wisdom. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me pull up
DC 15.
our good buddy Evan's stats so that I know what to roll. And sure enough, I know what to roll. And it is natural 20 plus 2.
ooh,
Evan's an enigma.
So remind me what happens if they resist your throw. Do they know?
I think they know regardless, but I believe I'm shunted out. The spell ends.
Okay, he, like, all of you are watching as he's kind of walking ahead, still holding this stick with the light on it, and then he just suddenly freezes and looks around and says, "What was that?
What?
Something just tried to read my thoughts. It was Nelson, I know it."
Oh, Nedry?
Yeah.
Nedry has trust issues. And also, he's super nosy. He likes to know things.
Well, we've been fooled by the adversary before, and this is one of the
That's
ways
true.
that I was able to tell.
No, you can't be too careful when the adversary's concerned.
Well, that's what I think.
No, I hope what you saw in my head can prove to you that I am loyal.
No, not really. Your mind was mostly confused, and then it kind of shut down.
He looks for a moment like he might be about to cry. But then he kind of all right, well, so if we're moving forward then, huh? Yeah? All right, come on, let's
Hey,
go.
Wait a minute. If you do that, Nedry, and he says it's okay, does he still have to, like, resist? Or can he say it's okay and then you automatically can look in his brain?
Well, I suppose. But if it were the adversary, then he would shut me out. So it's not really conclusive if I get shut out. Plus, they might be able to just throw me out anyway.
But no, I
If I
mean,
was-
if you want to and he says it's okay, couldn't you read his thoughts now? If he says it's okay?
Well,
yeah,
I
can he
could try it
choose to
again
let you
tomorrow.
in?
This doesn't seem very nice.
Well, the adversary isn't very nice.
Well, he was spying on us. And, we have to make sure that we can trust him.
If I have to let you read my thoughts just to prove that I'm really with you guys, then I will.
Okay, I'll remember that tomorrow.
I mean, it's like you said. And he looks to Zaylene. It's like, I don't have anywhere else to go. But
I believe
more
you.
than that, I believe now that we have to take the system down.
I know. I believe you.
Wait,
Like I
which
said,
system?
Nedry
on.
is just he's very inquisitive and curious and he likes to know things. And sometimes he has boundary issues when it comes to secrets.
They're
Question-
terrible.
Question about detect thoughts. Like, does the spell end if they push you out?
Yeah, it actually does end the spell.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, are we still are we still going or?
Yep, keep
Lead
going.
on.
You're doing great, Evan.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. And he sets off again. Here, I'm gonna. Let's see.
Nedry will probably watch Evan, just in case. So probably every once in a while, Evan will turn around and Nedry's just sort of watching him, half tripping over something.
All right. So, as promised, he's kind of leading you around town the long way. And, Gorn is not a tiny place, so this is taking a while, right? But in the meantime, he's keeping you kind of on the area where the like marshy wetlands have sort of a tree line border to them. It's a little ways away from town where, like, if anyone were looking in your direction, they might see a little bit of light, but with the dark, they probably wouldn't see anything else. Unless you guys tell him otherwise. That's kind of the distance from town that he's keeping you. You're coming around to where you're sort of now curving down towards the south on the western side of the town, when all of a sudden he freezes again and he turns around, eyes wide, and says, "Oh, it's happening! It's happening! It's happening!"
Okay. Try not to think about being on our side.
Tell him that. Then that's all he'll be able to think about.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not
So-
good at being a person.
This time I'll cast Detect Thoughts again with a spell slot.
Okay. So,
I want to listen in.
sure. All right. So I think you don't get the message he received, right? What you're getting is his attempt to try to figure out what to say. And the rest of you are kind of, you're hearing his version, like what he's saying out loud, whereas Nedry is getting kind of the thought process leading to the spoken words. And the thought process is essentially this panic of, I have to try to pretend that I'm still working for this guy and that I am, not actually joining the resistance, and that we have to try to get the information, but also I'm kind of scared and I haven't had dinner yet, and just a lot of stuff going on in there. But what he says is, of course, I can leave all of my notes by the well, and I will stay there until I am met by your messenger. Thank you.
Can you give him thumbs up? Like, good job.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Wait. No. How many words is it? Is it still reading me? I don't know. Wait.
Well, if it was just
I'm
a
gonna-
sending spell, then I don't think he can read your thoughts, but he could be scrying on us.
He's like looking all around.
I don't know
Doesn't
how.
work that way.
Yeah, we won't know unless somebody can detect it, but I don't have that ability.
Okay. Well, so I was told to meet someone at a well in town.
When?
I got the impression I was supposed to just go there right now and they would meet me there.
Okay.
I mean, they don't really have any reason to think that I wouldn't be in town. That's where I was supposed to just follow you. I wasn't supposed to leave town, even if you did.
Well, I mean, you wrote down in your notes that you followed us into the woods, so he'll understand.
Well, right. I just mean, like they weren't expecting me. Like I don't. Okay,
It'll be okay.
So are we all going into town, or what's happening? Do I have to go by myself?
No, we're gonna go with you, and you're gonna go to the well, and we're gonna take position outside to keep an eye on things and see what happens.
He kind of glances over at Buster, who is currently digging a hole.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did we reach a place where we were happy with like setting up the The tower?
So I would like you guys to make a roll to see if you have found a place that you think is a reasonable campsite. This would be
Survival?
a survival roll.
Like
yeah.
survival? Yeah.
Mm.
I think I do that.
I get +2. I can help you with that.
I
roll.
made an 8.
So here's the thing.
Proficiency.
I was gonna say not to roll with advantage because normally speaking you would have disadvantage for being in the dark.
Who would?
Hmm?
Who would?
No, I'm saying all of you are looking for a campsite in the dark, and that's hard to do. So whoever does the roll would have been
Not
at
for-
disadvantage. But if you're helping each, dark vision doesn't matter. That's not. The
I have
whole
like
effect.
60 feet of it though, so I
Okay.
can see more clearly.
Yes, but it doesn't make it easier to. Okay, makes it easier than it would be, but still hard in a place that you're not familiar with. And it's marshy, so there's not going to be a lot of good places anyway. And you're all keeping an eye on the town. So, I was going to say disadvantage, but then you're helping each other, which would make it cancel that out. So you rolled once and you got an 8.
But Zinhorn got a 16, so.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the 8. You haven't found a good spot.
How about I look for a spot? Oh, then you won't be able to find me.
Well, I can
Um,
find you.
Yeah, we could. Carolina could send you a message.
Okay. How about you guys head to the well and me and Buster will look for a spot for the tower?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So,
Do you really? I mean,
Nedry kind of side eyes the big monster.
do you really think it's safe? I don't know if it's safe for you to be with that thing alone.
I think it'll be fine, Nedry. But thank you for worrying about me.
Nedry, if you're worried, you could stay with him too.
Well, when he gets inside the, oh wait, no, he's just going to find a safe place. He won't have the tower, huh? I was going to say if
No.
he were to take the tower and enter it, then he could shrink Buster for the interim.
I don't know if Buster will actually fit through the doors inside.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Hmm.
That we were gonna have to like finagle him.
Oh,
into
right,
the
right,
tower.
right.
Yeah.
that
A
that's a
one
whole
one
that's a
minute
whole
of
thing.
that of the shrink spell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So-
he could maybe fit in, but not like it would take some persuasion and assistance.
Mhm.
Right.
Do you want
Never
to
mind.
stay with Zinhorn, Nedry?
Well, I don't want to stay with that thing, but I don't know what I could do with the well.
Okay, well, you could stay with Zinhorn and protect him from Buster because you're pretty strong. I mean, you're a very powerful wizard.
No, not yet.
Yes,
Yeah,
but you two
you
make
are.
a really good team.
Yeah, you're like Dragon Brothers.
Well, that's true.
Mhm.
So,
All right.
how about this? Like, if Nedry and Zinhorn stay here, I can cast invisibility, and the three of us won't be seen. And we'll just follow Evan.
Okay.
Be careful, though. The adversary has already done a lot to damage the places we've been in.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's true.
You know, I'm not very stealthy. Maybe I should stay behind.
Okay.
I tend to make a lot of noise even when I'm trying not to.
Okay.
Because I don't
Carolina,
think
got
you're going to be in
this.
any danger. It's really just information finding, right?
As far
We
as we
hope
know.
so.
But
Hopefully.
it's okay. We'll be okay. We have Evan. He's really strong. Look at this guy.
He,
Thought you guys were
he
gonna.
looks at you and says, "That's really nice, but I'm not that strong."
Here, and I give him one
Well,
of my
you were-
daggers.
I didn't mean to.
You were
make that
following
big.
us
I was
for,
trying
like,
to add that
A
small.
whole day before we spotted you,
Yeah.
right? That's pretty impressive.
When did you spot me exactly? Actually,
Kind of look around at the others because I don't know. I believe I was in the tower.
I
with
think
Nedry.
Zinhorn saw him first. when he was following us, but the
Mhm.
rest of us didn't see him.
Yeah, I saw him when he was up in a tree.
He was,
And
well,
then-
he was talking to the girl, wasn't he?
Well,
We saw him
Saw him
before,
before
that.
we saw him before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it was only when he was in the when you were in the tree.
So wait, so everybody's coming, but some people will be invisible. Like, who's staying? Like, I feel like I have to go. They're gonna start to wonder why I'm.
Yeah, we're
not-
going
Yes.
right now. Let's go.
Zaleen and I are going to come with you.
Okay.
Zaleen doesn't need my help. She is the shadows.
All right. So
We'll keep looking for an adequate spot, right?
Yep.
all right. So
So I will cast invisibility on myself.
all right. And
How far is the well from where we are?
I mean, it's not that far, but it's like it's into town a little ways.
Okay. How long does invisibility last?
1 hour.
Okay.
So let's get going.
All right. Let's go.
right.
As we're walking, I'm gonna give Evan a dagger.
He has a short sword.
Okay. I thought he
I
didn't.
mean, you can still give him a dagger, but yeah, he has a short sword and a hand crossbow. But like I said, you haven't seen him use or even hold either. They're on his belt.
Okay.
But all right. So I guess I'll lead the way.
We'll be
All
right
right.
behind you.
Great.
I'm
Yeah,
not
this is
actually
great.
going to.
No, I'm on a secret mission. This is awesome. All right. Okay,
You got-
here we go. Oh boy.
You
Yeah.
got this. You got this. I'm not actually going to take my shadow form until we get closer because it only lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
All right. Yeah. So as you're heading into town, then he is doing his best to act totally casually, like there's nothing unusual happening. Not going to a secret meeting while acting as a double agent. No sirree, Bob. And let's see how he does. He is not doing great.
everybody knows.
Could I sing him a little song to maybe bolster his confidence just before we get into town? Like, you know, at the outset, it's like, you'll be great, you'll be fine, and then use bardic inspiration for him.
Sure.
Okay. So what I would sing would be, never have you seen a finer swine, mighty in armor did he shine, through and through a champion, the loyal Robert Baratheon.
Hey, that's so great. What? So what is the inspiration die? Is it a D6
It's a
or
D8, I
D8?
believe.
All right.
Yes.
Rolled an 8 on that, which makes his score a 12.
Oh,
He's
thank
doing
God.
all right. He is not
Nice.
actively attracting attention with how indiscreet he is being. So he is now more or less like, you feel like if someone was already inclined to watch him specifically, they might be able to intuit something, but it's not obvious anymore. So he's feeling a little better. Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to the place and I change, I'm actually going to cast resistance on him in case they try to do anything,
Okay.
like invade his brain and he has to make a saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that lasts for, I don't even know how long. Till the spell ends, it says.
All right. I'm just suddenly. Has everyone seen Big Trouble in Little China? There's the bit where he kind of ooh, I'm feeling pretty good about this. He's feeling good. I feel kind of, kind
ate
of
the berry,
invincible.
didn't he?
Yeah. So you're making your way into town, and sure enough, he takes you into sort of a big plaza that's got a big fountain in one end, but then there's also a common use well that has a big bucket on a crank there that is placed for anyone's use if they need to get some water, and he is heading straight for that. It's a relatively big plaza, so Carolina, obviously, who's invisible, could stay pretty nearby without too much difficulty. But Zaleen, even with your shadow form, you're going to need to like be a little bit stealthy so as to not look like, hey, why is there a shadow standing in the middle of that plaza?
Are there any buildings nearby that I can
Yes,
sort
but
of like?
yeah, but they're a little bit back from the well.
Okay.
You'd have to be like 40 feet away.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
Now you could potentially find a hiding spot there by the well. There are some shadows from the well itself, but you'll need a stealth roll to try to get up there without it being too unclear. Especially given, as you may well suspect, someone might already be watching the well.
Right. Let me see. Oops. I have advantage on stealth there too, because I'm a shadow.
Okay.
So I was just double checking that.
You sure do.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and roll your stealth with advantage.
16.
Okay. So you manage to slink up there. What is your approach? Like, how are you using your stealth in order to try to cover the area where you have to cross a bunch of open plaza?
I will probably duck in and around like anybody moving or maybe wagons rolling.
Well, it's
down the
definitely
street.
the sun has gone down now, so there's not a lot of people out. But there's, if you want to kind of wait and sort of draft after the occasional person here and there.
That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he, Evan has made his way up there, and he's kind of standing by the well, looking a little bit awkward. I think, those of you close enough to see his face and able to see in the dark well enough to see in his face will, I think, probably see on his face a desire to speak out to make sure that you're there with him and that everything's okay, but an understanding that he probably shouldn't. And besides, he's a big boy and doesn't need to be reassured all the time. He can do a secret mission and it's fine. Probably it's fine. It's going to be fine. It's maybe not fine yet, but it will be fine. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine. That's kind of what's going on his face right now. Are you doing anything else, or are you just going to wait there with him?
Am I close enough that I could touch him?
I think so. I think where you ended up was hiding in the shadow that's cast by the well itself, the moonlight shadow.
I will reach out and touch him to give him resistance.
Is this different than the spell, or are you just?
No, it's the same one. It's the same one. It lasts for up to a minute. So
okay. I see.
Yeah.
So you've cast it again. Okay, like he kind of straightens up. And he feels the contact, which is just a reassurance that you're still there too. And he's trying to not look like someone just held his hand while he's standing there supposedly alone. But as you are hanging out and waiting, eventually, there is the approach of, you see someone, a dark cloaked figure approaching, who seems to be just coming up one of the streets, but it certainly seems to be walking directly in the well's direction. Would you? Yeah, he's approaching, and you're just not gonna. So tell me what the plan is. Are you? I guess here, I will assume that you're not doing anything until you tell me different.
I'm standing probably about 15 feet away because I'm not going to be, like 15, 20 feet away because I don't want to be like right next to him just in case, I don't want to get walked into or anything.
All right. So this figure is very clearly, they seem like they maybe have some kind of, light armor on underneath this cloak. This is a cloak that he's got the hood pulled down kind of classically over here to kind of obscure most of his face in shadow. He does seem to have a long bow, like, around his chest and back, that sort of style of carrying. And the ambiance went out for a second, and now it's back. So he approaches, he comes right up to Evan and whispers in kind of a gravelly voice. He's like, "You the spy?" Yeah, I was contacted by a friend of the Emperor, and the guy just, like, gives a gesture like, "You got notes?" Yeah, yes, of course. Here they are, and he hands over this little notebook that he had made, because you had gone through it and taken out only the reference to Buster, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's flipping through it, and he says, "How come there's pages missing here?" Well, here, I'm gonna roll a d20 to see how good his explanation there is. First of all, he's got an actual skill on this. Yeah, okay. Well, you see, I got distracted towards the end once they left town, and I kind of started sketching birds. It's a hobby of mine, but I figured the friend of the Emperor probably didn't need to see my bird sketches, so I tore those out. And the other figure's just, So they left town? Yes, they left town. How'd they leave town? Oh, well, I saw them go out of town to the north, and I followed them for a little while, but then I'm sad to admit that I got scared and I ran away. And so that's all the notes I have. But they were out of town. And I watched to make sure that if they were coming back into town, but they didn't. And the other figure is just kind of grunts again. So, what sort of remuneration do you think is appropriate for this level of information? I was really excited by this whole prospect earlier today, but I've just kind of felt like, maybe I just don't need to get involved with all of this sort of thing. So, just a pittance for time spent. It's probably fine with me. Like, we don't need to make it a whole thing. I don't want to get into, like, haggling with you. I mean, this is, you know what? How about 5 silver? And the guy just, and basically pulls 1 gold piece out of a pouch, drops it on the ground, and turns to walk away.
I'm going to follow him.
Okay. So all right. So he's walking out away, and I'm assuming you don't announce to everyone that you're following him.
Nope.
All right.
I don't know. I know Carolina. I imagine if she doesn't come over after a second, that's probably what she did.
All right. So for the moment, we're going to stay with Evan and Zaylene, watching this guy walk away, and he eventually goes around the corner of a building, and Evan just sags, just like, "Oh man, that was scary. I should have prepared more of those lies ahead of time. I mean, some of those questions were kind of obvious ones, but it kind of caught me flat-footed, but I think I did okay."
Yeah, you did great, but keep it down. Just in case there's
of
somebody
course.
else still
Right.
watching.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, I'm still actually staying in the shadow of the well.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I probably should go, right? Though, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it would look like if they are still watching, it would look weird if I'm just like still standing here talking to like I'm talking to someone who isn't there.
Is there a tavern or anything near this area?
Yeah.
Okay, go there,
Okay.
and I will meet you there.
All right. I will. It's let's see. It's called the Tavern of Autumn Flowers.
Okay.
And so he kind of heads off in a different direction, pretty much the opposite direction from that other guy. So
You
Zaleen,
pick up your gold.
no, yeah, he picked up the gold coin.
Okay. All right. So after he is gone,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stay where I am and wait to see if Carolina comes over here. Because she probably knew where I was. I'm assuming,
Uh-huh.
but I will wait and see what happens.
Just this moment of like,
Carolina. Hello.
And with that, we're going to actually cut back to Zinhorn, Nedry, and Sequential. What do you and Buster get up to while Evan, Zaleen, and Carolina have gone off into town?
I'm gonna like throw sticks for Buster to like fetch with or chomp
Okay.
them. See if he'll like fetch a stick and bring it back as the beginning of some sort of basic training. As we walk through and look for some place that's a good place for the tower.
So I think what happens the first time you take a stick and you kind of go, Buster, go ahead, get the stick. He immediately charges after it, like unsettlingly fast, and then just grabs the stick and he tears the stick into shreds and then comes back.
Good boy. I'm not disagreeing with you ever.
Interesting game.
Yeah. It's called Destroy the Stick. We'll work on bringing the stick back without hurting it later.
Ah,
But for now,
I've got a boomerang.
No, absolutely not.
It's like, oh God, he's coming back.
Yeah, the boomerang's coming back with 600 pounds of gray render.
Probably more
Moving-
than that.
How smart do you think it is?
He is above animal intelligence. I mean, he's shown me that already, that he is able to learn what I am trying to teach him. He's paying attention to me and like trying to figure things out. Like we've had cats and dogs and rats and bunnies and stuff like that around the orphanage for years, and they're all like dumb as a stump compared to him. Even the smartest dog that we had didn't catch on as fast as he did.
While you're saying all of this, what everyone else sees in the background is Buster leaning down to sniff at something in the mud, and then eventually just sticking his whole face into the mud, and then after a delay, a couple of bubbles.
Not convincing.
You haven't seen him in action yet.
Did you recognize him? I mean, if both of you kind of were in the same place at one point, do you remember at all whether you saw something like him before?
I don't remember anything like him before. And remember, that was like 20 some odd years ago, or 15, 20 years ago, something like that.
Still, I think you'd remember something like that.
Well, I would hope I would remember something like him, but I don't remember a lot about getting out of that place or how it happened, or even my first, days or weeks here. So, and I don't remember anything like him.
I might be able to help you in time. Maybe
That's what
walk through your memories or something.
That's what I'm hoping, that we can get to that point. But right now we need to find a camping spot. So I guess I'm going to try another survival roll to see if there's a good camping spot here. Natural one. That's a 3.
Yeah.
This is a great camping spot right here. This mud.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
think. Yeah, so I think that while you all were talking about Buster, you kind of got a little distracted, and you started sort of paying not quite as much attention to where you were going. And then, as you kind of like look up and around, you realize, wait, which way was the town? You don't see it anymore. You're kind of marching through some very sort of like, it's not full swamp, but it's sort of very sort of like goopy mud and trees that have a lot of like hanging moss.
I'm gonna like see if I can see where our tracks came from, so we can double back that way. Because back a ways we could actually see the town. Is that another
Something
roll?
wrong? You don't seem so certain anymore.
Another survival roll.
No, I think
maybe-
with that natural one, you're lost.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's find out what Carolina's got going on with with this cloaked individual. So what's the plan here? Like you're watching, you're following them. You just want to kind of see where they go. Is that the idea here?
Yeah, I'll keep my distance, but not too far so I don't lose him.
All right. After a couple of blocks, he kind of ducks into an alley a little bit and like looks around. And he's obviously trying to see if anyone's following him or looking at him and paying any attention. Please make a stealth check with advantage because you're invisible.
That one's better. 20, not natural.
Okay, yeah. He looks around, trying to see if there's anyone around, and apparently concludes that there is not. So you see him take this. I said it's a cloak. It's almost more like kind of a poncho. Like it's not a full like all the way down to the ground. It's sort of just like a hood and then over the shoulders and then kind of drapes down, to the waist on the front and back. He starts pulling that off over his head and then stuffing it into a pack. And then you see he is wearing armor that looks like it has the Emperor's symbol on it. And he, has that on and kind of straightens up and then walks a little bit further. Are you still following him?
Yep.
All right. He joins the main street, looks back and forth, sees a group of 3 more people in similar armor, and approaches them. And so, as you are, how close do you want to get to that group?
Not too close. No closer than 30 feet max.
Okay, you probably won't be able to hear what they're saying.
Okay. Then creep a little closer, but actually try to keep, if there's anything like that I could, stand behind or
So,
something. I don't know where they are.
What this is that if you want to be close enough to hear what they're saying, then I need another stealth check with advantage. But now you're potentially rolling against more than one person, right?
Right. $22.
Okay. Yeah. Fortunately, this part of the town is a little bit busier, so any stray noises can more easily be explained, and it's a little bit less of a feeling of like, I swear I'm hearing footsteps behind me, but I don't see anyone. What's going on? You know, it's more like, there's so you hear a bump, it's like, oh, yeah, it's someone over there, that sort of thing. But as you creep up, describe like these guys are all kind of just hanging out under an eave. It looks like one of them was maybe smoking a cigarette or something.
Mhm.
So what are you doing? Like, how close are you getting? Like, you have rolled high enough. Narrate how you are approaching.
I just want to get close enough that I can overhear what they're saying, because at this point, given the armor that they're wearing, I'm fairly certain that they are, Imperial people.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear what's being said. I don't necessarily want to do anything to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the others look up as the one you were initially following approaches, and he just takes out the little notebook that he got, hands it over to one of the other men that seems to have like a little bit more of an insignia on his armor, just a little bit fancier armor. And he just says, "Oh, it's a big waste of time. This is what we get with working with local amateurs. I told you we should have put one of our guys on it." And then the other ones just say, "Listen, it's not our call. We're working for, friend of the Emperor, so he's going to be the one to make these decisions. So, like, I guess we better just get back to the ship." Like, I guess. I mean, it just feels like they left town already. I mean, if we're going to arrest him, why don't we just arrest him? Why are we messing around like this? Well, I will remind you what I just said, which is that is not our call. We are working for the friend of the Emperor, and thus we're going to do what the friend of the Emperor says, unless you want to be the one who disagrees with the friend of the Emperor. Yeah? No. All right then, shut up and let's go. They start, the one grinds his cigarette out under his boot, and they start heading off together.
Okay. How long has it been, like, since we left our group? Like, since we split up?
Well, since you left Zaleen, it's already been like 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
And so since you left the rest of the group, it's probably been like 20 minutes.
Okay, so I still have a little bit of time left. So I got like 40 minutes of invisibility left. So I'm gonna follow them and see where they go.
Okay. So let's just briefly check back in with Zaleen. Carolina seems like she went somewhere with that. So what are you doing?
I'm going to go prop up over by one of the buildings, like sort of in the shadows, and reactivate my cloak, and just wait for her to come back.
Okay.
Because obviously she took off. And I'm not going to
So-
go after her because I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I won't be able to find her, so.
So, if you are so inclined, I'm curious what Zaleen thinks about while she's just waiting, bored, in the shadows.
She's just thinking about the Mistress of the Dark. That's like all she thinks about. And she thinks a little bit about Evan, and, she worries about him now because he really proved himself. And now he wants to, fight the system. And she feels kind of bad because she just didn't realize like how green he was at the time. So she feels a little bad about that. So she kind of talks to the Mistress of the Dark, about it. Just like, I feel really stupid. And I mean, he's going to get killed. And I don't know. I don't want that on my head. So she just kind of stands there talking to herself, basically waiting for Carolina, like in the shadows.
All right. So, Carolina, you are continuing to follow these soldiers.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
not super close. I just want to see where they go because
Mhm.
I this friend of the emperor sounds like he might be a more powerful sort. So I don't need to get a face to face with that guy.
So, what you do is you follow them over to where you start smelling the stables in town. But as you're getting close, you realize they're not headed right for the stables, but they're headed for sort of like an open space where you see that there's a number of small, like there's some wagons and carts and so on that seem like this is maybe an area where people who have like carts or wagons can sort of store them safely and not have to just stand by it all the time. And there's a city guard presence that is kind of watching over this area. It's not brightly lit, but it's lit enough that like the people who are sort of standing on a couple of watch posts around the corners of this lot could see if there was someone sneaking around, right? That's the sort of place this is. But you watch them go in and walk straight to a thing that I think you would have seen one before, but they're unusual. They're kind of like fancy and so I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about in a moment. But they walk up to this small wooden craft. It's about the size of like a big rowboat. But it's clearly got this unusual metal framework around it in sort of a hemicircle. And there are two guys with the similar armor standing next to it. They all get on board, and then this semicircle lights up with arcane fire, and it lifts into the air. And when I give you the context of this, this is a small airship type craft, but when I say that you're familiar with it, like you've seen them, it's a little bit like saying you are familiar from TV shows of seeing like a Black Hawk helicopter, right? But you wouldn't be usually used to seeing one in the middle of like Wichita, like lifting up out of a parking lot, right? That's a little like this is like you're not unfamiliar with the existence of craft like this, but they are exceedingly rare and usually associated with the military.
Okay. So it lifts up. It just goes straight up.
Yeah, yeah. So it is now. It's obvious, especially after dark. People could probably for blocks away could see this like ring of arcane fire around it, and it's not especially fast, but it does just lift right up into the air with this little craft big enough to carry 6 grown men, and seems to be heading off into the darkness in a approximately southeasterly direction.
Okay. So now I'm going to head back to where I left Zaylene. Only as I am going, before the invisibility ends, I will no longer be Carolina. I will instead be Irinel, so the dark elf. And then kind of in a place that's, unobtrusive, like throwing any people around, that's when I would drop the invisibility, just because, like, so people don't just see this dark elf just randomly appear.
Sure, yeah.
And then head back to where the well was.
Okay. Go ahead and make another stealth check with advantage for dropping your invisibility.
Ooh, that was a natural 20, so 26.
There you go. No
I don't think there's gonna get any better. So
Yeah.
yeah, the other one is a 12.
Yeah. So you've decided to make yourself less recognizable to Zaylene in time to go back and presumably find her where she's no longer at the
Oh
well.
no, she'll recognize me.
All
I
right.
mean-
How could one not recognize me in this form?
So, refresh my memory. Has she seen you in that specific form?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are like making implications here that I feel like am I just misremembering something that happened on camera, or are we all
No.
just making?
No, the very first time that she told everybody the truth, she went through all of her forms.
Okay. Okay.
And I was like, ooh.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. It wasn't for
Yeah.
me, of course. Like I remembered. It was actually for all the listeners who might not have remembered.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, Zaleen, you're just hanging out thinking about goth stuff. And,
Here comes this handsome dark elf around the corner, sort of
Ooh,
whistling
baby.
a little bit to
Yeah.
himself.
Oh, it's you. Oh, where did you go? And I'm like, I'm still like a shadow. It's like what of you?
So, yeah, I suppose I would sort of stop and look in the direction of the shadow. Be like, perhaps it would be better if I could see your lovely face. This is a bit awkward.
Right. Okay, yeah, sorry. And then I will drop it. Where did you go? You were gone for a really long time.
Well, I try not to be gone away from you for too long.
I know.
But
I
I did want to see where this messenger was headed.
did you?
And I found out something interesting.
Oh,
But I think
Um,
perhaps we should discuss it with everyone once we're back together.
okay, yeah. I sent Evan to the tavern just because it would look silly if he just kept standing here after they left in case somebody else was watching.
Hmm,
So we
smart
should
idea.
go collect him.
Well, I was thinking about that. And perhaps this is not such a good idea for him to come with us.
I know, but now I'm afraid that he got involved, and if we leave him here, we will come back in 6 months and he'll be dead.
Yes, but if he comes with us, he may be dead in less time. Yes?
But he'll at least be. Maybe we should give him a choice.
Hmm. Well, I think it would be odd for me to approach him as I am, but I did want to see you again.
It was
But-
so nice to see you. It's always nice to see another person like me. Oh, you're so handsome. I mean, okay, yeah, I think the tavern's over here. I think. I don't know.
I will offer her my arm, shall we?
Okay.
All right. Well, so while Zaleen and
Irinel,
Irinel
just
go
say
on a
Lynn,
date.
it's fine.
That's right. While they go on a date, we've got the boys stuck in the mud outside of town. So I think that you find when you try to look and retrace your path, the ground is too muddy in the dark, and it has been complicated by Buster running in circles around you. That you feel like you're not going to find your way out by tracks.
How do you think Buster is with direction sense? Think he can find the way back to town? Seems to be very food motivated.
Well, I don't think we need to go back to town. That
Well,
would
at
be
least,
bad.
well, I mean, we're lost. Not to put too fine a point on it, so like maybe starting where we, going back to where we started makes sense. No,
All right.
I'll keep wandering. I don't. I'm good
I'm
either
gonna
way.
try. I'll try that. Be like, Buster, find the town. Can you find the town? Do you know which way the kids are?
He starts digging a hole.
Either he buried the kids
Alright.
or he doesn't really understand.
The digging is not going well because it's all mud and the mud is spraying everywhere. Who is standing behind him? I'm going to roll a d6. One of you gets to be the lucky one. It's sequential.
It makes sense. It was my idea. Move out of the way. Oh.
I'm gonna like look around like and see if there's like moss on the base of some of the trees or something. I
Okay.
vaguely remember that that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like moss only grows on one side of a tree.
So go ahead and make an investigation check looking for some suitable moss.
That would be a 4.
Uh-huh. Well, as you are looking around, you know the first couple of trees don't seem to have the kind of moss that you're looking for, and you're stepping a little further. There's a bunch of vines around here. There's moss hanging from the trees, but it's not on the bark on the way you're initially looking for. But eventually, as you find some likely looking moss that has just grown up in a big pile against a thicker tree, you reach out to kind of look at the moss more carefully, and what's your AC?
My AC
Probably
is
better.
18.
Yeah, so a big mass of these vines goes whoom, and basically tries to slam against you, but you are able to evade it. But I think, though, that we're probably looking at an initiative situation here.
All right.
And let's see if I had a way to track that in. You know what? I suppose I don't have a map for this, but I think we can figure it out. We can make.
I rolled a 19.
Well.
Darn, it's such a shame we're in town, Zaleen.
Having a date, strolling the promenade,
Right, hitting the bars, you know.
bar hopping.
All right.
We'll wander back to like camp totally smashed.
Everybody be laying there all unconscious. It's a good thing I took that level in cleric.
Yeah. Evan used his gold piece to buy everyone shots.
We need our cleric to take a level in ranger now, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, city boy ain't doing too well out in the woods here.
Okay, so all right. So what was the Nedry's initiative?
I hadn't rolled yet. Just a second here.
Well, go
Didn't want to get ahead of things.
Sure.
21.
Nice. There you go. 21 and sequential.
16.
All right. And let's go ahead and get Buster in there. He has also a 16. What is your dex modifier, sequential?
It is +2.
Okay, well then you go first. So, Nedry, you are up first as you see that this mound of vegetation and vines and moss is shambling in the direction of Zinhorn in a way almost as resembling a classic D&D monster in some way.
How big does the mound appear to be? Like,
Big.
Is it Zinhorn side or huger than Zinhorn?
Bigger than Zinhorn now that it's sort of rousting itself. It was sort of laying flat and squished, but now that it's moving, it's definitely big. Large in size, you might say.
Well,
And he quickly inscribes something new. Flamamininus! And they'll cast Firebolt.
Ooh, yeah, go ahead.
Yep, just got to roll it here. That is a 22 to hit.
that will definitely hit this big old shambling mound.
So I kind of imagine it like he struck a match, but the match is his little pen. So it's that little and it flies off. 13 fire damage.
Woohoo. Okay. Hang on, let me.
And I'll start to back up.
Sure. Okay, so as you scorch a part of this mound, you realize that it doesn't burn it as much as you would have hoped because it's all very slimy and wet and damp. You made a little bit of a mark on it, but a lot of the fire just went out from the moisture of this thing's vegetative flesh. All right. Zinhorn, you're up.
All
Thing's right in your face. Tried to do a thing.
I am going to step back 10 feet, and then I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt, and I'm going to follow that up with Lightning Breath.
Okay.
So rolling to hit. I got a 21,
That'll hit.
and that is at third level. 23 points of damage.
Wow.
And then going to
And it glitters with Rishama dust.
Yep, and for lightning
Rishama
breath,
sparkles. Almost said sprinkles, but is sprinkles better or sparkles? Rishama sparkles, Rishama sprinkles.
sparkles.
Sparkles. Glitters.
If it
with
were
Rishama
ice cream,
sparkles.
then sprinkles or a donut.
I want some ice
It
cream.
shimmers.
Rishimmers. That's the winner, I think. Okay, so you were doing lightning breath as well.
Yes, it has Dex saving throw of 12.
Not good at those. It's almost as though it's shambles most of the time. It gets a 1, and that's with rolling a 2.
All right, and we will do 15 points of damage.
Okay. Well, here's the thing that I want to just briefly go into the meta, Paul, and
Yes.
apologize that it was not an intentional pattern that I continue to have you fight against things that are not harmed by lightning. But as it happens, the shambling mound is actually healed by lightning.
Oh,
So you watch as your lightning seems to go and it energizes and grows back 15 points instead of being harmed. So I just wanted you to know that this wasn't personal. I'm not out to deliberately prevent Zinhorn from getting to use his cool lightning breath in an effective way. It's just coincidence.
All right.
Okay.
Zinhorn is bound and determined to be like the damage dealer, the tank, as well as the cleric and the flyer, and
Hey, that guiding bolt was really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's still learning.
Sequential, what are you doing?
what's the duration on that guiding bolt?
It's for the next attack roll.
Okay, so it's already
if you make an attack
passed.
roll, it would no, because the lightning breath is not an attack roll; it was a saving throw. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, actually, so I was going to do Fairy Fire, which still wouldn't be an attack roll, 'cause it's doing a saving throw. So maybe instead of that, I could do that next time and do something damaging. Hey, what do you know? Yeah, so I will go ahead and launch a Scorching Ray,
okay, Go
which
ahead
creates 3 rays of fire. Okay.
all right. So that first one would be with advantage.
Okay,
know what?
advantage.
Let's get some,
Roll. Here we go.
Let's get some battle music here.
Oh, terrible rolls.
Oh no.
11 is the best I can do.
11. Well, does an 11 hit? Let's check the AC, shall we? Oh, I'm afraid it's 15 because it's got like woody bits.
Right on. Second scorching ray is a soft 20.
That'll do it.
Hooray. Which does 10 plus 2d8 for my arcane firearm matters. So 21 points of damage.
Woohoo, there you go. Except that it only takes half of that because of its moistness.
Moistness, yes.
Mhm.
And a third is only an 11. So
Okay, and 11's still not going to do it either. But your scorching rays light up the swamp, showing you these dense hanging moss trees all around you, and revealing in the darkness a second shambling mound lurching in your direction.
oh noes.
Yep. But are you going to do anything else on your turn, or?
No, I guess yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes it Buster's turn, and he charges in with a roar at the one that attacked Zinhorn. And first, it's gonna do a bite, and that is a 12 to hit. And I think he stumbles in the mud, and instead of succeeding on his bite, he skids and like crashes into it face first, but without doing any damage. But then he's going to go after it with his claws. That is going to hit. And then the other one also going to hit. So where's my D8s? There we are. I should have more than one D8 out. I don't, though. All right.
You could have had a D8.
I could have. So the first one is 14 slashing damage, and then the second one is 13 slashing damage. So that's 27 slashing damage from Buster just tearing at this thing with his claws. And let's have to do math for a moment. Okay, yeah. There we go. All right, so that makes it the mound's turn. I think the one that just got torn at by Buster is going to attack him. And it goes... that'll hit. And does... 13 damage to, let's see, to Buster. Then the second attack, but first, when he is slammed by this massive vines, Buster seems to go into a rage, and he makes another attack with his claws as a reaction, which does hit. And does another 14 damage. But the mound does have a second slam attack, which does just hit. Yeah. And does 10 more damage. All right, now this second mound is coming up to attack Sequential. Oh no! Yeah, you lit yourself up. So the first attack is going to be a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that's going to do 14 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Second attack is a 16 to hit. Does that hit?
That will miss.
Aha, lucky you. So, yes, you saw as it hit you with, one massive extension of vines, it tried with the other extension to get you around you on the other side and surround you, but it was unsuccessful. That makes it Nedry's turn again.
I think we should leave this
Shoot.
place.
Let's see. How far away from the two of them am I? Like, were you all close together, or is
I think
spread out?
we're doing this theater of the mind. I don't think you're all too far apart, but you could be a little ways away if you wanted.
I think he's going to continue to kind of keep backing away. Maybe acid, and he'll try to hit the one that is facing off directly against sequential.
Okay.
As he pulls out a small gem, it hovers for a moment. He traces around it.
Sphera Frigus.
And I'll cast Chromatic Orb at it.
Okay.
Just at second level. Let's see here. Hopefully I can hit. Cold. No, what did I say? Cold, yeah?
You said acid.
Did I say acid? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's not a great roll. That is a 13 to hit.
Unfortunately, your acid sphere or your acid orb goes wide and burns away a bunch of non-animate moss on a tree. Now you can't tell which side of the tree it was on.
On the
Anything-
other side.
Anything else on your turn?
Just, again, backing away with his
Okay.
movement.
All right. Zinhorn, you're up again. The one that you and Buster are facing down is definitely taking some obvious damage, but it's got fight in it left still.
Well, let's see if we can do something about that, shall we? I am going to do spiritual weapon, and I will cast it at third level.
Very nice.
And I got a 17.
All right, 17 hits.
This is large, right?
Yes.
So why did it do that? I thought my spiritual weapon did more than that.
Yeah, it definitely, you cast it at a third level, so it should be 2 more d8s on top of that. It doesn't look like
Okay.
it did the higher level cast very well, but
Okay.
yeah, so you should roll 2d8.
Okay. Ten more points.
All right.
14 total.
Nice.
And not going to heal it this time. But my spiritual weapon is out,
Yeah.
which means I can use it as a bonus action next round.
Well, so I believe casting it is a bonus action, and you still
Oh,
have
is
a full
it?
action. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to attack it with my weapon and my dagger blind sight, because I have 2 weapon fighting.
You do.
So rolling to hit with the mace, and I got a 7. That's not going to work. And the dagger of blind sight. I got a 9, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, unfortunately not. But you're ready to go though. You hit it with the spiritual weapon, and you got Buster at your side. You're gonna get this thing.
All right.
All right, sequential. This thing just tried to mush you. So It tried to mulch you.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So yeah, I'm gonna retaliate
Ooh.
with a chaos bolt.
Let's see it.
It's been a minute. And let's see the chaos bolt. So I'll go ahead and do it 3rd level. Mark the slot. Trying to remember. I think I roll for the damage. Does oh, that's right, because it's chaotic. All right. Well, I got a 1 in 8 chance it'll be lightning.
Yeah.
All right. Where did I just put it? There we go. And I guess. Oh, wait, they're still both standing, right?
Both of the mounds, yeah.
Yeah. And so this one's in front of me, I guess.
Yeah, there's one directly attacking you. The other one's a little ways away.
Yeah.
It's more
So I guess the one that's directly attacking me. So I
Yeah.
actually only do it at
Like,
2nd
so,
level.
I
So
think
that only
just
matters
to-
for damage.
Yeah, just to describe the mental picture here, you've got Zinhorn and Buster menacing one that looks significantly reduced, and then there's the full strength one that's attacking you specifically. So,
Right.
you know, whichever one you feel like is.
Yeah. It's the full strength one. So yeah, okay. Then I would do it at 3rd level. So it's a 26 to hit.
That'll hit, yeah.
All right. And so on a hit, the target 6, so it's 2d8 plus 1d6. And then one of the d8s is the damage type. Okay. So it's actually 3d8.
Yeah, it's a complicated spell for that level.
Yeah. There we go. Oops. I only rolled 2. Duh. Let's do the 3rd one. So that's 8 plus 9.
What's the total?
Sorry. So it was why is it moving my stuff away? So that's 9 points,
Okay.
but the first one was a 2, which tells it the type
Okay.
of bolt it ended up being, which is cold damage.
Okay, so you
So-
see that it does some damage, but it looks like it is not especially, you know, the just in much the same way that a compost heap will generate its own heat through the effects of decomposition. It appears also resistant to cold damage, but you do
It's
some.
so it's 9 and then plus 8
Okay.
for my arcane firearm, and
Oh.
because it's using.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, it's the same damage type, though, right? Or is this?
that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. So if your arcane firearm just increases the amount of damage done by the spell, then it would.
Yeah,
be
I
the
guess
same
that would be the
damage
same,
type.
yeah.
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 All right. Great. But yeah,
Cool.
you do that much more. All right.
Cool.
Okay. It is Buster's turn. He is once again going to bite and tear at this mound that is attacking his master. And he still misses on the bite attack, which is a bummer because he does a cool thing when he hits with his bite attack. But he hits with both claw attacks, which means that he's going to do another. 17. He's going to do another 25 slashing damage.
Yes.
And that one is definitely starting to look noticeably wounded. But it is in fact, that one I think is going to start to try to slink and slurp its way away into the mud. So Buster and Zinhorn can make an opportunity attack if you like.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
and that's with
well,
my regular weapon,
So
or
first, let me resolve Buster's because he hits with his
Okay.
bite as the opportunity attack. So that's first going to do get my D12s. There we go. It's going to do 23 piercing damage, which is going to be pretty good. And then the Shambling Mound has to make a strength saving throw, which it fails. So as Buster reaches out to chomp into a suspiciously meaty portion of this vegetative creature, he bites it, chomps down, and then yanks with his head his powerful neck and shoulders, and he pulls this thing off of the ground and body slams it next to you, prone, Zinhorn. So now you may make your opportunity attack with advantage.
Nice.
Whoa. Now is that just like a single weapon attack or?
Yes, one weapon attack.
I'm gonna use my mace.
All right.
And I got a 19.
There you go. That'll hit.
And I got 7 points of damage.
Oh my gosh. This thing is barely hanging in there. It is squirming and trembling and thrashing around. It is clearly not long for this world. All right. The other one, though, is still over there fighting Sequential. So let's see how it does with its slam attacks. That first one's going to be a 17 to hit.
Miss.
All right. Second
Current
attack.
armor class is 20.
Aha, there you go. So it misses both times that in this round. It is slamming at you, but how are you fending off of its blows?
So I just remembered I'm carrying this shield
Oh!
that I can also use my reaction to give me bonuses to hit.
Uh-huh.
Totally forgot. So yeah, this wonderful shield.
Nice. It's like, oh yeah, hey, look. Magic
Oh,
items
oh,
in your
oh,
inventory. Whoa, what a concept. All right, so you are able to fend off its blows this time. And so now, before we go back to the top of the round, I want to briefly cut back over to Zaylene, Carolina, and Evan. What, drinks at the bar? What's going on?
Probably. I imagine Irinel has burst into song in this pub because that's what I do.
I think Evan has had 1.5 drinks and is cheering a little too loud. What are you doing, Zaylene, while Irinel performs?
I'm actually trying to talk to Evan to find out, if he really wants to commit to this. And
yeah, I think he's got some liquid courage, and he's like, yeah, totally, that went great.
Okay. What about your mom, though? Who's gonna take care of her?
You know what? She'll be better off when we take this empire down.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. And then I do another shot.
Yeah. He does one with you, and he goes, down with the empire, woo!
Shh. Don't say that so loud.
All right, let's cut back. Nedry.
Yeah, every time he yells louder, I play just a little bit louder.
Yeah. Nedry, back to you in the initiative.
Oh boy. Okay, if we're not running away, he'll move to be closer to where Sequential is, and I guess light another match, try another firebolt
All right.
at that one.
Okay. Well, so there's the big one fighting Sequential, and the other one is extremely injured.
No, the one that's fighting Sequential because
Gotcha.
it's still up.
So a 13, unfortunately.
Misses anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you coming closer, or are you staying at range?
He's moving closer to be. I don't know how far away he is at the moment, but within 30 feet or so of Sequential, if you can.
All right. Yes, you can. Okay, Zinhorn. Are you gonna put this thing out of its misery here, or what?
I certainly hope so. I am going to go for the 2-weapon attack and follow up with the uh, spiritual weapon. And if it's dead before the spiritual weapon, then I'll change targets.
All right. Well, let's see how it goes.
All right, mace. I got it. Dirty 20.
Nice. It only had 1 hit point, so you watch it squirming, as Prince Justin suggested in the chat, like vegetable gelatin. You look for the thickest part of it, crunch, and the whole thing just
Alrighty.
flops, and so that one is dead.
Can I get my
guess.
second? Can
Yeah.
I move and get my second weapon attack on the other one?
Yes, you absolutely can.
All right, dagger of blind sight. That's gonna be a 10. That's gonna miss. And spiritual weapon.
Yeah, I think this is all happening close enough that you can move it over there.
Okay. And that's a miss. I got an 11.
Okay. Yes. So you have gone in to draw some of its, I was going to say fire, but I guess some of its sap. No. There's something there, but I'm not going to wait. So let's go ahead and give Sequential his turn while I think of a better line.
Okay, let's see. If I tried to do a thunder wave, is there anybody in between me and it? Like the 15-foot
No,
cube?
well, so Zinhorn has run up to join you in fight with it, but I think you can position yourself easily
Cool.
enough.
Then I'm going to do thunder wave it. So Constitution saving throw versus
All right.
14.
Thunder, 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 thunder wave. It gets a 12.
All right.
It is large creature, so I don't know if that affects whether it's pushed or not.
Gotcha.
I can double
Yeah, it
check
doesn't.
that too.
Seem to say anything. So let's see. It would be.
Okay.
Can I add? No, I can't add that one. All right.
Yeah.
So
sure enough.
3 D8 of thunder damage.
That's surprising. A lot of effects that will force move on a creature are dependent on how big it is, but it looks like Thunderwave does not have that limitation.
19 points of thunder damage.
Woo-hoo-hoo. It is not resistant to thunder damage. 19,
Yay.
you said?
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And it is blasted in the mud. It rolls over like a tumbleweed a couple times. Plum, 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 plum. Forced 10 feet away.
Oot, oot.
Or is it 15?
Oh, and so
for-
that time I used my reaction to actually use the shield.
Okay.
Look at the heads up display, which gave me a +3 to the damage.
Nice. Yeah, so it helped you. Let's describe what that looked like as you peer through this translucent shield. It just suddenly lights up like a little display, and it highlights a little place in the middle of it with a glowing area that says "Focus here." And then, sure enough, boom, 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 boom. All right, very nice. So that makes it Buster's turn again. And especially seeing it roll away, ball.
Fetch.
Yeah, so it charges,
Fetch and
and
shred.
it attempts to do pretty much what it did with the stick. This time it does hit with the bite. And so that means that it's going to do 5, 7, 11 piercing damage. But then it also has to make another strength saving throw to avoid being knocked prone. And that is a natural 1. So once again, Buster, seizes it and then uses his powerful head to just toss it, knocking it prone, and now is going to attack it with its claws as well at advantage, and it looks like it seems to be like while it's still holding it in its jaws, it's getting extra power for that. So, the first one is going to hit. And it does... It does 20 slashing damage with that first claw attack. And hits with the second one as well. For another... 21.
Whoa.
Yeah, so, Buster is just over there, flipped it over, doing a whole lot of damage to it. And, seemingly, its body language suggests a deep and powerful rage that anyone would dare threaten his master or, to a lesser extent, his master's friends. But he's also delighted to have the opportunity to punish someone who would threaten his master or, to a lesser extent, his master's friends. So that is, I think, the combination of emotion that you see as this gigantic monster tears this mass of fibrous vines and vegetable matter. So that happens. Now it is the mound's turn. It's not having a good time. It is going to use its turn, its movement, to try to flip itself back upright to where it can move, and then try to move away. But Buster's going to get opportunity attack, which in this case does hit. Yep. Once again. Does 26 piercing damage. And once again, the mound has to make a saving throw to avoid being knocked prone, which it does succeed this time. So it's trying to get away, but Buster has managed to chomp at it, and it only manages to get 10 feet away. So it's not currently engaged with any of you. Seems really hurt. It seems like it's trying to move away. But I will let Nedry decide how to proceed.
Well,
He's more afraid of Buster, I think, than the actual monster at this point.
okay. Flammus Minimus.
Another firebolt.
All right.
The only thing he's got at the moment. Let's see. That took a while. That is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 11 fire.
Okay, so once again, it takes part of that damage is just evaporate some of the moisture, but it does take some of it, and it is further, you're increasingly causing its massive form to like disintegrate into just various little bits of non-animate plant matter.
And he'll kind of move up a bit so that he's kind of equidistant between Zinhorn and Sequential at this point.
All right, Zinhorn, I think you probably recognize that, like, regardless of how Zinhorn might feel about pursuing a fleeing creature, doesn't look like Buster's going to stand for that. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to attack.
Okay.
I'll start with the spiritual weapon and then close in to hopefully finish it with my mace and dagger of blindsight. So, 24 with the spiritual weapon. Now, I originally cast it at 3rd level. Do I get the bonus damage?
Yeah. As for as long as it's up, you still
Okay.
get that full.
So 5, and then I need to add 2 8s to it.
What level did you cast that at, by the way?
3rd.
Oh, okay. No,
13
bonus.
points total.
Okay.
Doesn't actually get a bonus till 4th level, but
I'm sorry. What?
it doesn't actually get a bonus till 4th level. It's a weird spell.
Oh, really? Okay. It. All right. Well,
Sounded
we'll
good.
we'll
But
we'll do
that's
it
fine.
this way for this
Yeah.
battle, and I'll look at it for next time. Okay.
Okay. And then
Yeah. So it's
mace.
Yeah.
Oh. That's going to miss. That's a 9. And the dagger of blind sight is going to miss. That's an 11.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, this thing is falling apart. That you tear at it with your weapons, and you do actually make contact with pieces of it, but it seems to be only pieces that are already falling off of it. It's not taking additional damage. But sequential. What about you?
All right. It's heading out. Well, peer through the shield, and it looks like about the same thing. I like the firebolt idea, so yeah, let's do that. Oh, 13.
13 does not hit, unfortunately.
That's pretty much all I could do.
All right. That might mean that Buster's going to get the honors here.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge after it and do a bite. That bite's going to hit. Yeah. So, Zinhorn, you watch as Buster, charges the 10 feet after it that it had tried to escape, pounces on it, sinks its teeth deeply in to the center of its mass, and then goes and eventually tears away something slimy and dripping and maybe vaguely heart-like. If you imagine like a strange tree that has been cultivated to grow in the shape of a human heart, looks something approximately like that. Tears it out in his jaws, tromps back over to you, covered in mud and muck and slime and sap, and drops this heart thing at your feet and goes,
I give him scratches behind the ear and call him a good boy.
cut to...
Nedry's kind of cautiously approaching, wanting to look at the heart, but not wanting to
Okay,
get any
sure,
closer
sure.
to
Yeah.
Buster.
Yeah. All right. And just incidentally, all of you are filthy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, back in the Tavern of Autumn Flowers, Carolina, as Irinel, have you been doing a good job singing?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Um,
How about we have you roll a performance check to see?
yeah, that was only a 9.
It's because
Yeah.
you're so nervous about me being there and watching you. That's all.
Yeah, I
And it's the drink and being a little torn about having this guy with us, and it's just my head's not in it.
yeah. Yeah, and you're just thinking it's like, all, we had the hard job. The boys are just sitting around waiting for us to come back. Yeah.
I
But
can't believe
yeah,
they just ditched us.
but Evan seems to be in full victory mode. He had his first secret mission as a double agent, and it went great. And now he's drinking with friends. Oh, it's the best. This must be what it's like to have friends.
Oh, of course, friends are wonderful things to have. The more the merrier.
And he says, not just friends, comrades.
Yeah. In arms.
Yes! He goes to start pulling his sword, but he's a little
No.
tipsy at this point. No, okay.
No.
You're right. Better if they don't know my skill before a battle.
Yeah. We'll have to test your skills and see how they go, but not here.
All right, let's see. Got tavern ambiance here. So, how long are you guys just hanging out at the tavern here? Because obviously, it seems like Evan is having a good time celebrating. Doesn't seem like there's really any time pressure. I mean, what could be happening back in the?
Actually,
Yeah.
what I think I would like to try to do is convince him to stay here and be a spy for us. Like if he gets a because he was so stealthy to track us, that if any of these people, if the man comes back to town, or if he's contacted again by this adversary, this Nelson character, this friend of the Emperor, that he should let us know.
Okay, so like how we'll build a role into this, but how are you actually? Is that how you're pitching it? Because you're
Well, I
watching him.
would pitch
he
it-
seems to be thinking like he is a member of the team now. That seems like how
Right.
he's acting.
But as a member of our team, we need eyes and ears everywhere. We need to know what's going on so we can take them down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Think of all the good stuff you could do here. Like, look at your journal, like all the good stuff we did to help people. And before we got here, there was so much stuff happening that we helped people with, and you could do that.
So since you're both helping, let's see a persuasion roll with advantage here.
Oh, I got this. 21.
Nice.
Well, that's just the first one. Hold on.
Okay.
And
Okay.
20.
All
I can't roll any lower than a 20. So.
Well, that in hindsight, that almost makes the 21 a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think though that flush from this victory, the fact that you're spinning this all in the context of like you did such a great job, you should keep doing a great job for us here. That it's not the part that he's excited by, but it doesn't hurt that it means that he doesn't have to leave home and everything he knows and never see his mom again and go off into an unknown adventure. So.
You would
So-
be in an adventure, only safer.
So yeah, like, well, and but I think it's not safer though, because this is the heart of the beast, or well, not like I guess Pashan is like the bigger heart, but this is like the smaller secondary heart that some monsters probably have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the grassroots begin. This is where the roots take hold.
That's right. They need me.
And that, yes.
And in
Yes.
fact, Goran, people outside, they won't listen to outsiders, but I know the people here. I know who we can talk to start making inroads and foment the resistance. And you can you'll contact me, right? Like you'll let me know when
Of course.
all right, because I can't do the magic stuff, so I can't do that part. But
Well, you could probably get a sending stone.
yeah, no, totally I could. Yes.
Yeah. So if anything happens, you could contact me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I will. I'll get a
Yeah.
sending stone. Oh man, it's gonna be great. Yeah. Down with the Empire.
Shh.
Yeah, right. The Empire. Yeah.
So once we have him convinced and pretty hammered, that's when we'd part ways.
Although I think that because Zaylene feels so guilty that she would insist that we walk him home to make sure that he gets there safely. Yeah.
So I think as you are walking him, out of the building and heading your way, I think I'm gonna need a perception check from the two of you.
Okay.
All right, nice.
Um
Yeah, that was a natural 20.
Yeah. So I
So-
think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Mine is a 5.
Natural one.
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
rolled a
think-
natural one.
Yeah,
but
Zaylene.
Yeah.
I think you're focused on Evan and making sure
Yeah.
that he doesn't step in a pothole or something.
Yeah.
But Lynn, you definitely realize that you know, three guys follow you out of that tavern, and I think at your glance, with your practiced eye of observing the behaviors of drunk people in taverns, you guess they don't like how he kept saying "down with the Empire." They seem to have not enjoyed that, and they're definitely following you.
Let me think. Let's see. Because of that, what do I have? I don't have a lot. Okay, so let me look at this. So, let's see. Where or have we just left, or
I mean,
like how-
yeah. So I think that you have gotten about 60 feet past the tavern when you definitely notice. Yeah, those guys came out after us, and they turned the same way we did, and you can just read it in their body language.
So I'm gonna kind of lean into Zaylene a little bit, and you're like, I need you to take to the shadows for a moment. I will get him away. There are some unsavory types following us, I think.
Okay.
So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Shadows.
And I am going to cast Dimension Door.
Okay.
And let's see, it's 500 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think like blocks wise where that would put me.
Well, yeah.
Like if-
So, like, are you taking just yourself, or are you getting?
No,
Evan
I'm
out of
taking
there?
Evan with
Gotcha.
me
Gotcha. Okay.
and just like poof elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly be just like way up the street. I think you saw the area enough that when you came through that you could go like a block over or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I would do
Certainly
that.
out
and
of
then,
sight,
Mhm.
you know, so they wouldn't have any way to see where you went. Yeah, so Zaylene, make a stealth check with advantage as you disappear into the shadows, and there's a big poof as Lynn and Evan disappear. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, those 3 guys, as you watch, you see the face journey that these 3 drunk fellows go on, where they're surprised and startled by magic, and then their target is gone. But also there was powerful magic which suggests there might have been more to him than they thought. So they're mad that they didn't get to beat up that guy, but also they're a little worried that maybe they were going to try to beat up a guy who is more dangerous than they thought, and maybe they should just go back and have another drink.
I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy behind them
Okay.
and just say, "Down with the Empire."
They all scream and run in 3 directions, and one of them pees his pants.
Excellent.
All right. So, Zaylene, I think you then, after a moment, realize, wait.
Where did Carolina go?
Yeah, you, once again,
Oh.
you don't know where they went.
Oh well. And I did some shots, so I'm just gonna meander like a little shadow for a while.
I would probably like duck in somewhere that and be like stationary. So if she came past, I would be able to snag her.
Okay, but you're there with Evan, who's drunk, who's starting to say, wait, what just happened? Weren't we? Like, how drunk am I? I thought we were over on Elm. What happened?
That was a while ago, man.
Oh, man, I'm so wasted.
Yeah, for a second. We're gonna wait here and surprise Aileen when she comes back. That'd be great.
Okay. And we cut to half an hour later when you are both each waiting for the other on opposite sides of the block.
I'm just like talking to myself the whole time and be like, I don't know why. Like, why does this happen to me? Like, I don't.
Well,
Am I
I thought she
supposed
said
to
she was
go?
meandering, so it's like
I
I'm not
am.
gonna go too far.
I meandered
Um,
a
Brief
long
cut
time.
over to the boys in the swamp who have discovered that the bugs have come out. Cut back into town.
So I'll expend one sending to tell Zaleen exactly where we are.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'll be right there.
And then we'll walk Evan home.
Yeah, I think you are able to deliver him home without to his home, to the threshold of his home without further incident. And I think at the door he turns to you and goes, "Shh, my mom's probably sleeping. Better
Okay.
to let her rest. Sleep the rest of the naive. But soon
Yeah.
the revolution will come, and we will all need to wake from our unknowing slumber."
Yes, but you need to be really careful. You can't just walk around saying down with the Empire all the time because there are people who are loyal
You
and
know-
they will hurt you.
Always be vigilant.
Don't worry. I have eyes in the back of my head. If that ever happens, I'll take care of it. He looks down at his belt, and you realize that he lost his hand crossbow somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, slip him a couple of coins.
He's like, well, I just had it. Where would it go?
Probably at the bar, but
I would not go back there tonight.
no, definitely don't go there again today because it would be bad.
Yeah, probably also like I don't usually drink that much. I better keep it cool before I lose my composure.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, it was nice working with you. And get that sending stone.
Yeah, totally.
Keep us surprised of the situation here.
Surprised?
Yes. Surprise us with information.
I will.
All right.
Going to be so surprised.
Okay. I love you, man. And I.
He goes for a hug.
All right.
He looks over to Aranel and says, "I think you're the same, right? Like when we were hanging out in the bar, so you were with the, yeah, right?
Yeah.
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 We had
This,
friends. We had friends. We are all friends.
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
So yeah.
Are you cool, man? Are you cool?
So he very slowly and quietly opens the front door, goes inside, very slowly and quietly closes it behind him, and then almost immediately you hear a crash from inside. And so
And you hear his mom be like, "Damn it, Kevin!"
Perhaps we
do
should
you know
go
what time
quickly.
it is?
I waited up for you for 6 hours. And then we just book it. Like
Giggling
criminals.
the whole way.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and hand wave the period of time that it takes for you to actually all once again reunite with one another. But I will just spend a moment imagining the tableau of, Zaleen and Carolina coming in a little tipsy, giggly, and having a great time, and then coming in to encounter Sequential, Zinhorn, and Nedry, who are all covered with swamp filth and looking pretty exhausted and bug bitten and in the dark, having not found a place to put up the tower.
Prestidigitation for everyone.
Thaumaturgy for everyone.
Was there
Not
anything?
A fan of this camping thing.
Was there anything in what was left of the body of the thing? Like you said, there was a heart, maybe, or something to study.
I think if there is an oddly shaped vegetative thing that does seem like a thing that you could certainly keep and study more if you want. But
I'll be right back.
not ideal circumstances right now.
He's still more curious than has
Oh, sure.
sense. So, but if it's too big for him to carry, then it would be just
No.
a
I
cursory
think
glance.
I think it's it's the size of like cantaloupe.
Okay, that'll go into the bag then.
Put it in my backpack with the crown.
No, it's gone in with our friend.
Okay.
Yeah, like you put it in there and it falls and bounces around until it falls right into the circlet. And now the cursed circlet is affixed itself to the shambling mount heart, and then that grows vine tentacles to drag itself over to the thing in the cage, and yeah,
No, the circlet's in my backpack.
Yeah, they won't let me carry that anymore.
right, yeah.
Especially not in
Darn.
your backpack.
No,
See,
especially not
this
with that
is
one.
what
Yeah.
happens. Players just ruin all my DM plans. Anyway, I think as those of you who are continuing to try, you do manage eventually to find a spot that seems like it'll support the weight of the tower, and it's not within sight of the town, and you think that you can, you can put it back up there, maybe get some rest. I am curious though, where in the tower each of you try to. First of all, let's see you try to get Buster in there.
Oh, I can use. Hold on. Oh, maybe I might not have the spell slots left. Nope, I do not. Nope,
It's
wait.
going to
I
be
can do it
very
at third
tight
level.
when we first go in, anyway. But
I can use enlarge reduce at third level
Okay.
to shrink him down.
Does he get to make a saving throw for that?
It's Constitution 15. So maybe Zinhorn, could you just
Convince him it's a good idea.
I'm going
Could
to
you-
try and
could you
distract
maybe,
him so he's not paying attention.
You taught him a new trick. Go with the flow.
I'm going to get out some food because you guys brought some food back with you, right?
Um,
All right. Well,
I pull a French fry out of Lynn's hair.
I'm going to bring out my rations, which, hand wave. I have no idea how many I have at this point.
All right. Well,
You can probably assume that Buster's eaten most of them at this point.
holy cow. What's your DC, Lynn?
It's Constitution 15.
He doesn't make it. Like, he's got a +9 to Constitution saves.
Oh wow!
So he
but
has
rolled a
been
4 on the die.
the target size is halved in all dimensions, and its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. It
So-
decreases its size by 1 category.
Yeah. So basically, Buster begins to shrink until he's still no longer the size of a grizzly bear, but now the size of like a panda bear. And seems extremely alarmed by this development.
Okay,
He
get him up the
eyes are
stairs.
going
Get him
wide
up the
with
stairs.
panic.
Run.
I'm going to try calming him down.
Okay, let's try this animal handling check.
This
Also,
only
what
lasts
are
for
you
a
doing?
minute.
What are you doing to try to soothe him?
I'm going to scratch him and tell him he's good and keep my voice calm and say, it's okay, Buster. It's okay. You're okay.
You may sing to him. This may help him.
All
He
right.
seemed to like it when you did this.
I'll sing the song too.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So make your animal handling with advantage.
Yeah, okay, so, the advantage is going to save me. Oh, no, it's not. So, I rolled a 9 the first time, and the second time, I rolled a 6.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you are not calming him down. He is still upset. However, he is small enough that you could still just drag him in through the door if you need to. He's not cooperating, but you could get him inside.
This only lasts for 1 minute, guys. So
All
we're
right.
gonna shrink him. Do it now.
Then we're gonna pull him through the door, and I'm gonna bring the food with and try and get him to focus on the food and trying to get him to calm down.
You got to go all the way to the top, right?
Yeah, go to the top so that way he gets really shrunk down and he can't wreak havoc in here while he's in here.
So you better book it.
All
That's
right.
much havoc.
All right.
I
so-
haven't been in here before, so someone better be guiding me.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I am absolutely going to need to see an athletics check while you carry this medium-sized, so like this couple 100 pounds worth of scared, struggling gray render up 4 flights of stairs within a minute.
Is anyone helping me?
Just have him chase you, or chase him up the stairs. I don't know.
Yeah.
All the doors are
I'll,
closed.
I'll help. I'm not particularly strong, but I'll help.
Will that give me advantage?
I was going to say, do we have any other food?
I got a 20.
Well,
One.
it's a good thing you had advantage because that first roll was a natural 1 for a 4.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think then with sequential at your back, making sure you don't tip over backwards and fall down the stairs, you're hustling up and around 4 flights of stairs, and then up through a strange wooden door where you emerge into this stone hallway that seems just far too large for it to possibly have been in that tower. But then you look around and you are now standing in the that same entryway, only now you, Zinhorn, are only 6 inches tall comparatively to the rest of the room.
Okay.
Oh, good. They made it through.
Just in time.
Somebody should scoop up the small
Buster.
buster.
Well, yeah,
and-
so
Yeah,
now,
Zenhorn's going to want to come back.
because Zinhorn, you now have Buster grows back to his normal size relative to you, but for everyone else, he's like the size of a like a rabbit,
Okay.
like a guinea pig.
I will pick him up.
I'm
I
gonna.
mean, I can.
back
I haven't
away.
given up any of my rations, so I could try that.
Yeah, I have some too. I'll pick him up and then you can go back through and then come back down the stairs.
Yeah. I'll go
Maybe
back
hurry?
through.
Come back, Zenhorn.
Yeah, so right now, I think, Zinhorn, if you go back the way you came and come back around, you know, you're now still at the normal proportion for your stairs, but you get back around to the first floor again, and now you are the same size as all your friends, except that Buster is the size of a guinea pig, and does not seem thrilled with what's going on right now. He seems very concerned about what's going on, and he's kind of like he's an angry guinea pig. He's squirming all around. He's not content to just sit on your shoulder. He is.
He's
I'm
gnawing
gonna
on
close the
gnawing on
little
a
tiny
end of your
door so he
armor.
can't run back through it. Yep, closing the little door so we can't go back through.
And I will take out rations, which will now be like enough food for
Giant
him
rations.
forever.
I think that goes a long way
Yeah.
to like.
Mhm.
Well, okay, I guess. Mm. Um, um, um.
He's so
It's
cute.
so
Look at
better.
him. He's so cute now. He's so
He's still kind of terrifying.
What
even
a
at
good
small size.
boy.
Just scritch him under the chin like this. He likes it.
Nope. I've got other things to do.
And he'll go off to the other room,
All right.
to the library
So,
or
I
bedroom, I guess.
I want to briefly, before we close our session for tonight, I want to know where each of you is planning to spend the night in this particular tower.
Dude, I already claimed the bed. Like I've flopped on it before.
Okay, so yeah,
Saline
I'll
can share.
refresh everybody's memory that what we have is first floor is kind of like a sitting room, fireplace, dining table. Second floor is kitchen and alchemy lab. Third floor, bedroom with one queen size bed. Fourth floor, smashed laboratory.
I'll sit up on the first floor. I'll use my blankets and bedroll to make a little nest for Buster next to me, and if there's a rug or something, I'll just curl up on that.
All right. Sequential?
Well, as far as we know, anybody who stumbles upon this can just open the door and come in.
As far as you know.
So
Seems like so. I will clarify that a little bit. That I think Nedry knows that if you had the key, you could stop that from happening. If you had the key when you came in, you could tell it to stop doing that.
mhm.
Yeah, and he would describe what the key looks like, but he doesn't know if it's here or not.
Okay. I mean, I think it warrants spending a little time looking for it again, maybe in here. But for sleeping wise, or at least overnight, I want to position on the floor. Actually, since I don't really have to sleep, I can keep the front door unfocused in my eyes. At least I'll know if somebody opens it. I can warn everybody. So I guess across the foyer, maybe like leaning against the wall that the little door's on.
Okay.
If we have an hour or so, before
I mean, you guys tell me.
sleep
Like
time,
I was just trying to imagine
Then-
that you guys were like, it's been a long day, and so
True.
maybe you're kind of trying to settle in, and like at least a couple of you, like Sequential did okay, but several of you also had a long night the night before, dealing with the swamp spirit and
yeah.
and then you sleeping in like a barn, right? So,
Yeah.
but I was just so like we can perhaps rewind time next time if there was stuff you guys would do before bed. I'm just sort
Yeah.
of let's find a place where
And that would be all it
settling
would
in.
be. It'd be to search a room, but we can do that next time.
Absolutely inviting Zaylene.
She'll jump on the bed for a little while, jump on
Nice.
it, and then meditate.
The door
And then-
closes and we
Yeah.
And then after I meditate, when Lynn's asleep, I'll get up and help Sequential search for the key too.
What about you, Nedry?
Seeing Sequential's concern about the door, he'll slap protective verses, absorb the magic, and this might help. And he'll put his own arcane lock on the door.
So the door to the outside.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's expensive, but it works.
I think you think it should work, but because it would be slightly bordering and slightly interacting with another arcane lock, it's possible that there could be unpredictable effects. But the basic principle of it should stop it from opening just because someone touches it outside, that should work.
Okay. He'll spend a few minutes also. He'll take the library. It's much more natural environment anyway. Open up his book, and then kind of think about things and spend some time ritually casting Identify. This time focusing on the tower itself as opposed to just the lock.
All right.
See if he can learn anything more about it. He might not be able to.
Well, we'll cover what you discover with that next time.
Sure. But otherwise, it's just the typical sit in front of his book, work until he falls asleep on his book.
All right, very nice. And so I think with that cozy scene, we will draw tonight's episode of So Many Levels to a close, and we will return next week for more adventure on So Many Levels.
So many levels.
This is
At least 4.
up a tower.
Yeah. Lots of
Yeah.
levels, so many.
Think 6.
Well, and do you count it if you go up and then keep going up?
Infinite levels. So many.
Yeah.
Yep, so many.
Harder to go down. Anyway, we'll be back next week. So thank you everyone for listening and or watching, and that's it. I said
Good
the
night.
end thing already.
Good night.
Goodbye.
See ya.